Hello, everyone. Good morning and welcome to the Market Color session with the Value Field Trading team. And of course, our boss, Jimmy Olufukeji Adegbeye. How are we doing this morning? Hope we are good. Hope we are fine. Hope our day is going really, really well. This morning, we'll be looking at the commodity market and also the US equities market. I mean, US30, NAS100, and also S&P500, seeing how those markets are going and also opportunities we can take and, take advantage of in those markets. All right, very briefly, we'll be doing well to share my screen and then we'll start the analysis. But right before then, I want to implore everyone to share the link to the Zoom call. If you're watching from Zoom, if you're watching from YouTube, ensure you share the link to this meeting to communities are interested in trading, to your friends, to Facebook, Telegram groups. This post will be relevant too. All right, thank you so much for doing that. We'll be moving straight into the chat. Right, early last week, we had some analysis on US30, NAS100, and also S&P500. However, a lot of things have happened after that time. What we have this morning is quite interesting to, note because of what we have going on in the market. As you can see in the market, everywhere is temporarily bearish. Consistently, US30 has delivered a red day for the past 4 days, right? This is Tuesday, Monday, Friday, Thursday, right? We've seen an heavy sell-off in the market across board, right? Price has been selling to the downside, as we can see. Price have shift structure on a daily time frame, right? On the daily time frame, we have a shift of structure. The first one we have here is like a sweep. We have like a sweep here, and then price did what? Shift structure here. And with this shift of structure is a fair value gap and an order block just above for our typical box strategy, right? We have this fair value gap and order block that price could as well react off from, right? And let me look at weekly if we have something on the weekly. On the weekly too, look at the candlestick price closed with prior before. We closed with an indecision candle, right? This long push to the upside and then closed by a forceful push to the downside, right? And on the daily time frame, let's continue. We have a sweep, a break to the downside. And what do we expect next? We expect that price is going to come into the fair value gap and the other block to start sending price to the downside, which is quite unanticipated personally for me. With prior analysis, I want to believe price we should be seeing price, push to the upside, because I mean, it's November, December rally that is quite, common in the market. We have that seasonal rally to the upside or even to the downside. But what we have now is the market pushing heavily to the downside, right? And it's quite interesting to note. So we will be trading what we see on the chart, which is simply a sweep of structure that's happened already. Price has swept structure, and next we have a break to the downside, followed by a fair value gap and an order block just above. And we expect that if for anything at all, price will want to react off from the 50% of the fair value gap, and that from there will now start selling to the downside, everything remaining intact, right? On the 4-hour time frame, we can see price has broken structure, and we had some kind of reaction on Thursday. We wanted to buy from some level, but price violated those level immediately or even quickly, right? And so for that reason, we didn't take the buys again, and that's for even US100. That's Nasdaq, not US30. On Thursday, we had no analysis for US30. We're just kind of very free with it. We didn't want to take trades because it wasn't clear. We weren't sure at all what price is trying to do. It was still in a very overbought, like in a premium zone. That's the word, right? So on the 4-hour time frame, we see what the market is doing, and then on the 4-hour time frame, we have a fair value gap above, and also a fair value gap just in this zone that price could, start selling down from, right? For me this morning, I want to see what the market is doing. I don't want to rush, right? I really don't want to rush. I want to see exactly where we are going with this price action, that the market is giving us, either for a buy either for our continuation for the sell, or price is getting to some levels where we start seeing momentum for a buy, right? So I don't want to rush this market. Let it get to this area. If price is going to keep selling, it will get to this area, and then probably we'll see some reaction off from this area to the upside. And if we don't, fine and good, then we know that our sales have started. On the daily time frame, I am convinced that we've changed. There's a shift of structure already, right? On the daily time frame, I am very much convinced there's a shift in structure, and so therefore I want to see the market play out effectively before I jump in the market. All right, that being said, let's move quickly to US100. That is NAS100. On the daily time frame, we can see price of shift structure. This is a proper shift of structure. We've broken the first one, and we broke the first level here, and the second one is also broken, right? So I'm seeing sales formation, beautiful sales formation. And on the 4-hour time frame, you can see that it's very valid, very, very, very valid, right? Look at what we are having here. Price is beginning to create multiple lower lows and lower highs, and our lower highs are being respected, right? This was the first lower high, first, second, third, respected, right? And then price broke it. This is the latest lower high. So I want to see more of this price action, honestly speaking, before I take any trade today in this market. I want to see enough price action dictating clearly whether we are going for a buy or we are going for a sell. That will determine in the long run what we would have today, right? Okay, so that is going to determine in the long run what we would have today in terms of our buyers in the market. And price already tapped into this fair value gap and is selling off from it, fine and good. The third one is S&P500. The third one is S&P500. On the daily time frame, what do we have with S&P500? We have the market, breaking structure to the downside, and that's the first one, break of structure here, and that break of structure. So it's looking like a proper shift in structure. For the rest, for S&P 500 and for NAS100, we are seeing a proper shift in structure on the daily time frame, right? Unlike before, we are seeing a proper shift in structure on the daily time frame, and that's really important because unlike US30 that we have a shift, only a shift in structure, right? A shift and a break to the downside, and then we have fair value gaps and some other block. For our S&P 500, we have the first shift and a proper structure break, which has happened. Right, for me now, I'll be looking more for sales in this market. Right, I want to look for more sales in the market, except if I see fundamental news that triggers buy. Right, a fundamental news that is going to trigger buy, and that's why it's important. If you're trading this pair, you should have Truth Socials on your phone. You should get on X, right, and follow Donald Trump. Right, you want to get on what's it called, Forex Live also, so that you can follow actively news release that are important to this market, right? Anything significant to the US is significant to S&P 500, NAS, and US30. All right, so that's what I'll be doing. But from technical perspective this morning, what we have here is purely a shift in structure on the daily time frame, which is the higher time frame, right? On the daily, yeah. So for, like I mentioned this morning, I want to see how price moves into New York. And with that, I can now make more informed decision in this market. What I'm seeing now is not really clear to me in terms of intraday play. And that's why I'm not even trading US30 and NAS100 and any equities for now. I just want to see what they do. Currency is still giving more clear, perspective, unlike S&P 500 and indices right now, right? So that is pretty much what I have going on for today. Thank you for joining. In a few minutes from now, my colleague will be coming up to do our own analysis on commodities, right? And also, opportunities available for us to take advantage of in the markets today. So ensure you stay tuned. See you in about not even 2 minutes, it won't be up to 2 minutes before you see us. All right, cheers and God bless, guys. Stay tuned. Ensure you don't go anywhere. We'll be going on a very short break.
Incoming mail. Wow, can you hear me now? That is something. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick wrap up. We already went through, breakdowns of AUD, USD, and USD cards. That's it. Why didn't you say anything since? Are you the only one that was facing that issue, everybody? Okay, USD card. This is just a quick recap of what I spoke on. USD card on the H4 time frame, predominantly structure has been to the downside, minor structure buying for you this asset class. But when you zoom in here, you see that sunshine was printed, which basically means a retracement has happened or is going to happen rather. Wow, this is okay. A retracement is going to happen into the levels we marked out on H1, which is 1.40426 or 1.40215. Or when price comes here, we see no confirmation, we're going to be looking for the opposite direction. I went further to M5 to mark out this point of interest, saying this could serve as support and resistance. So basically, for USD card, I am expecting a temporal sell into these zones, point of interest 1, from this level marked out, point of interest 2, 3, 4, and 5, basically. So I want to see a temporal sales, and when price sells into those zones and I see confirmations, I'm going to be taking buy opportunities for USD card. However, if these zones get violated to the downside and they all get broken below, then I know that price is going to be trading in the opposite direction, and then I'll change to see confirmations for the next direction. So pretty much predominantly H1 is to the upside, coming to H4 predominantly downside, but so many structure points has been violated for us to not be maintaining that same downward point. So this is next resistance level where I think USD card is going to be buying into. It's still far, right? But looking at this, you see that a new sunshine was printed. So that is the reason why we're expecting this 10%. Also keeping in mind that even though price was buying, we had, a change of character here. Price broke to the upside and it is currently at this zone. So let us see what price does around this particular level. If price is able to violate this zone that I just marked out downward, then we'll be seeing more downward movements for USD card. However, if price comes here and finds support, then best believe we're going to be seeing opportunities to buy into the next resistance point on M5. Is that clear, Mr. Ezekiel? So pay attention to these price points that we just looked at. All right, thank you. And then moving to AUD USD, I said on the H4 time frame, looking at that, it's been buying since sometime around April. This guy has just been trading upward, and sunshine printed here. So sunshine break of structure, the indicator, everything is pointing upward. Sunshine has been printed, so I'm expecting a temporal buy. A temporal buy. Why do I say temporal? Because there are points of interest on H1 that price could buy back into, hit resistance, and start to sell. And that is why I'm using the word temporal. So these are now the temporal POIs that price continue to sell from 65174 and 65354. However, if price is able to break above these zones and continues to buy, then we know that there's more room for upward movement. So we're going to be looking to see if it continues to buy till a new sunshine is printed on the opposite direction. Then we'll go on M5. On the M5 time frame, these are the points of interest that I marked out. Yesterday's high and low, day before yesterday's high and low, pretty much marked out for price to retrace into those zones. And when price eventually comes here, we see confirmations, we start to sell. Now, because all that gives me the opportunity to, be able to take opposite directions. If I see a confirmation here, I could take a quick buy. But because I'll be going against my ideal bias, I'm going to cut my risk. I'm going to reduce my risk so that I'm not too exposed, seeing as I'm not fully in line, right? And then target this, come here, confirmation, you start to sell. And then for NZD USD, which is what I was about to touch on, we're looking at this saying that price has broken so many structure points with the next support level laying somewhere around here. This is looking like the next major support level for NZD USD that could push price up. Sunshine printed, so this sell we're saying was expected. Go to H1 to see what's happening. On H1, everything is also pointing downward, except for this sunshine. It hasn't printed a new sunshine yet. So for this, what am I now going to be doing? I want to see, because sunshine has been printed here, we could see a temporal retracement as well for NZD USD. But again, bearing in mind that no sunshine was printed on H4, then we may see even more digging first before we now see this retracement. Look at that. On AUD USD, we saw a new sunshine. We give us that confidence that price should start to retrace soon, but we do not have that yet on NZD/USD. So because of that, we could just see more digging downward before that eventual retracement into 56614 and 57326 resumes. So having that in mind, let's go to M5 to mark out these points of interest. So yesterday's high marked out. Before yesterday's high marked out. Before yesterday's low also marked out. Also marked out. And now we're waiting to see what price does. Either you violate and continue to sell before we see that retracement, or it is going to retrace from here, seeing as price already broke through yesterday's higher low and retraced, and we tested it. This is the low, right? It broke above, retested. So we could see, that buy happen in here, the indicator, all these other points of interest, and then the continuation downward. So that is pretty much my bias for these asset classes. Let me know if you have any question at this point, so that I can answer them. Questions relating to commodity currencies that we just looked at. I'm going to take a quick look at Forex Factory to see if we have any high impact news releases coming out that are related to commodity currencies. Today is the 18th of November. And what I'm seeing here, it looks like a pretty slow day. So I'll be surprised if we come back by, 2 p.m. for the market color recap. And we don't see much movement because everything here is low impact. And the only medium impact news release we have here is monetary policy. We don't really have so much effect. So this is a pretty slow day. But we're going to be looking. But pay attention to tomorrow for AUD. We have wage price index. That's high impact news release. So let's see what it does. There's also FOMC tomorrow as well by 8 p.m. So this will definitely push more volume into the market. And for those of us who want to also learn how to understand fundamentals, go on platforms like Forex Live, and you'll be able to see, different news releases, Investopedia. You see breakdowns of what these news releases mean and how they affect the currencies we'll be trading. All right. I believe this was helpful to one person, at least, very minimum. But I know it was helpful to a lot of people. But if it was helpful to you, let me know by leaving a message in the chat box before we call it a wrap for this session. Thank you so much, Mr. Ezekiel. All right. So see you by 2 p.m. for the market color recap. Please do well to tell one person so more people get to join this session. So with that being said, have an amazing trading day. Cheers and God bless.